we're going to make stuffed cabbage. Now this is an easy way of making stuffed cabbage. You would, for example, not need all these spices I have here. It would be sufficient just to use the tomato paste with paprika, salt and pepper. But if you're more adventurous, like I am, you would want to use a little bit more ingredients. For instance, I'm going to use this red pepper chili. It's called schah, it's a Moroccan paste, or you could use a little bit of harissa, your choice. This time, instead of using beef, I'm using ground turkey. We prefer ground turkey here. And sometimes I would put pine nuts, but this time I'm going to put chestnut. So I'm going to cut up a little bit of chestnut and put that into the meat. It'll give it a crunch. And I have chopped up cilantro, and of course we can do without our garlic and onion. So to begin, we want to cut our cabbage, the inside of the cabbage, the core. So you'll cut it with a knife, take it out, throw it away, and you would put boiling water in your pot and put it facing down. So you put the hole, or where the core was, facing down in your pot like this. And I'm going to bring boiling water. And we're going to cook it for about 10 minutes. Another way of doing it is putting the cabbage in a plastic bag and put it in your microwave for also about 10 minutes. And then you'll have to do it twice, because the boiling water or the heat doesn't go all the way inside the cabbage. So we're going to boil this for 10 minutes and I'll show you the next step. Now, many traditions or many cultures claim that stuffed cabbage belonged to them, or they originated from their country. The Persians, the Greeks, 600 before Christ, the Greeks find out, and the Romans, about cabbage. In Poland, it's called, I believe, gołąbki, and that's also the meaning of little pigeons, but that's also a traditional food for the Polish and Russians too. So as you can see, many cultures have adopted stuffed cabbage. I'm going to cut up our garlic into large pieces. This is going to go into our meat mix and into our sauce. You can do all the prep for your sauce while your cabbage is boiling. If you don't have fresh garlic, you can always use granulated garlic. Now I have here a cup of washed rice. You do not have to cook it before you put it in your meat mix. I'm going to add water to my cabbage. It doesn't have to be covered till the top. That should do it. These tongs help to move your cabbage around. It looks like the outer leaves are getting softer. Oh, we have 5 more minutes to go. We have our meat here, and to our meat we're going to add the rice. We're going to add tomato paste. Now you can put 1 can, which is about 6 ounces of tomato paste. I've used 1.5 cans. So I put here about a can, which is 6 ounces of tomato paste, and I'm going to leave the rest for the sauce. The spices I have here is black pepper, salt, coriander, turmeric, paprika, 7 blend spices, which is also called baharat, and a little bit more cinnamon, because in the baharat there's also a little bit of cumin, cinnamon. So all this will go into our meat mix, all these spices. We're going to put about a tablespoon of schah, Moroccan paste, or harissa. I have a recipe for this in We Cook Together YouTube channel. We're going to put a little bit of our garlic in the meat mix. and some cut up onion. We're going to put a cilantro in here. You cut up the cilantro or parsley, whichever you prefer, even both. You cut it with the stalks. That's fine. And then, as I said to you, we're going to use chestnuts. This is optional. To cut the chestnut into small pieces. And sometimes I would put pine nuts. Now this is an original recipe, which means that I have made it up for the most part by using these chestnuts. Like I've said before, cooking sometimes is like music. You either improvise, you play by ear music, which means I'll go sometimes to the refrigerator or the pantry and I'll just choose the ingredients and improvise something that you can sometimes even Google. Or I play by music notes, in which I'll take a recipe and just buy the ingredients exactly as listed in the recipe and will play note by note. So far, before I'm mixing it, this is how it looks like. See, the cabbage is getting loose here. That's what we like. We'll give this another turn, another angle. Okay, we have our first leaf. Put on a glove, always keep one hand dry and clean, and I'm going to mix all these ingredients together. If I find that the mix is a little dry, I will add a little bit of oil to the mix. A little bit of oil in your saucepan. Put our tomato paste in our oil. Meantime, get like 4 or 5 cups of water boiling. We're going to need it to put it into our sauce. Okay, to this I'm going to add salt and pepper. So here we've got our garlic that we had cut up. And then we have this onion. Now some don't use onion for the sauce. I just think the garlic and the onion is just delicious together. That's my opinion. Okay, let's get our water. I'm just going to put a little bit of consommé. This is your choice, you don't have to do it. It just makes it a little thicker. Gives it a flavor to your sauce. So I added a little bit of consommé in here. It's a powder consommé that has no MSG. Okay, my water is boiling. I'm going to get the water. I put about 4 cups of water. Stir. You can just smell those spices coming out from your sauce. Now remember, we didn't put too many spices in the sauce. We have most of the spices in here. We don't want the sauce to overcome the flavors, the actual filling, and that is why I made a plain sauce. Squeeze a little bit of lemon juice into the sauce, and so I finished mixing my meat mix. Now it's been 10 minutes. I'm going to gently peel off each cabbage leaf using my tongs. I'll remove them one by one. Sometimes you need help from some of your friends. Beautiful cabbage. You don't really need a very large cabbage. Even a 3-pounder should do. And if the cabbage leaf seems to be getting stuck, it's because you need to cut a little bit of the root of the cabbage leaf to loosen it. Put some lemon here, and I'm going to put about a tablespoon of honey. So while the sauce is cooking, we are going to do our cabbage leaves. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of our meat mix and we're going to do like a little burrito. We're going to fold it this way, and then fold it this way. And you want the folding part to be at the bottom. So here's our first roll. This one facing you, this and this. Second row, and counting. Now it's okay if it's a little torn here, you make it up, it's okay, you take a little bit of meat. See, you won't even notice that it's torn. Plus when you roll it, you're rolling it over another layer of cabbage. See? It's the third one. Now if the cabbage is really big, you can always cut it and make two smaller ones. But we are going to leave it like this. Of course, if it's a larger cabbage leaf, you would put more filling. Before cooking any recipe, I like to know the history of the recipe, like which cultures eat it, what country it comes from. It gives you perspective about culture, these foods. When we visited Poland, we went to a very famous, it was like a franchise kind of restaurant, and they served cabbage soup as well as stuffed cabbage. So I know that it's an authentic Polish restaurant, very popular in Poland. It was actually in Warsaw. this, you can always cut a little bit of this if it's too hard. I haven't done it with this recipe, but that's an option. It just will make it easier to roll if you don't have that hard vine on your way. So of course I have a little different sizes here because I've got the outer cabbage leaf and I have the smaller cabbage leaf. All our rolls going into the sauce. Here's all our rolls going into the sauce. We will cook this dish for about 40-50 minutes. On high first and then low. It's been an hour and it looks like our stuffed cabbage is ready. So here we are. I'm going to grab one. Some of that sauce over it. Here we are. Just look at that. So good. Thank you for joining me.